Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're going to be mapping out your exact path from being a traditional numbers cruncher to becoming a highly sought-after strategic advisor. You know, the finance profession is undergoing some absolutely momentous changes right now, and honestly, the role you play today, it simply won't exist tomorrow. So, let's look at how to get you prepared.
All right, we've got to start with a pretty serious question about your future. If your primary value to an organization right now is manually keying in data and staring at past results, basically acting as a human calculator grinding through a miserable month-end close, well, you're going to feel a massive squeeze on your fees and your relevance, and it's going to happen very soon. So are you ready to adapt?
Here's our roadmap for today. First up, accounting trends for 2026. Second, the CGMA Competency Framework. Third, 4 levels of proficiency. And finally, fourth, acing your CIMA interview. Okay, let's dive straight into Section 1, Accounting Trends for 2026. We're seeing a permanent, massive shift away from backwards-looking compliance work. And why is that? Well, because automation handles it instantly now, and clients simply are not going to pay top dollar for it anymore. Instead, the 2026 accountant is built on capability. It's about actively seeking out those advisory conversations and using predictive analytics to actually shape business decisions.
So these 6 trends right here, they literally dictate your future. Let's be real, AI is no longer a novelty. It is a general-purpose tool just like Excel, and it's deeply woven into integrated platforms. To survive, your skills have to evolve toward interpreting all this frictionless data. You're going to need predictive analytics to look forward, and crucially, you need an ironclad grasp of cybersecurity. Because think about it, feeding highly sensitive financial data into new, relatively untested tools requires extreme caution.
I love this because Dale Dixon from MYOB makes a brilliant point here. Thriving in the age of AI isn't just about the software you buy, it's about your mindset, skill set, and tool set. If you just go out and purchase a new AI tool without upgrading how your team actually thinks, you don't get innovation, you just get bad digitization. It really requires building a culture of safe exploration.
Moving right along to Section 2, the CGMA Competency Framework.
So, the CGMA Competency Framework breaks down your acquired skills into 5 crucial areas. You've got your technical skills to collect the data, and your business skills to transform it into insights. Then, people skills help you influence decisions, while leadership skills guide the overall strategy. Now notice how all of this orbits a central digital core, and the whole thing is bound together by this non-negotiable outer ring of ethics and integrity.
Now this is fascinating. Notice the progression of those purple bars on the left. Technical skills absolutely dominate your entry-level years, but as you advance toward the executive level on the right side of the chart, those technical requirements actually shrink. Instead, the blue and gray bars, which represent your leadership and people skills, totally take over. This is exactly where your professional development has to pivot as you climb the ladder.
All right, let's jump into Section 3, 4 levels of proficiency.
You really need to know exactly where you sit on this roadmap. At the foundational entry level, your focus is entirely on implementing, right? Doing the actual heavy lifting. But as you move through intermediate and advanced roles, your focus naturally shifts from doing things to monitoring them and then to advising. By the time you reach that C-suite expert level, you're no longer in the weeds. You are out there designing the strategic vision for the entire enterprise.
And that brings us to Section 4, acing your CIMA interview. Okay, so when an interviewer asks how you solve problems, whatever you do, don't ramble. Instead, use the STAR method to force a really tight, evidence-based narrative. You want to outline the specific situation, the exact task, the action you took, and crucially, the quantifiable result. For example, you might explain how you ran a deep variance analysis to identify the root cause of budget overages, which ultimately saved the company $50,000. That's the kind of stuff they want to hear. Now, employers are definitely going to test your personal drive with standard questions, but they're listening for strategic answers. When they ask, "Tell me about yourself," they do not want your life story. They want the highlights that prove you're an advisor. And when they ask about your 5-year plan, tell them you're aiming for that expert level we just covered, stepping into progressive leadership to really drive financial performance.
Because the 2026 accountant is a true business partner, you have to act as a translator. Remember those people skills we talked about? Well, this is exactly where they pay off. If you can explain complex variance data to, say, a marketing director in plain English, showing them exactly where they're overspending and how to fix it, you instantly prove your value. It shows you're an advisory partner, not just a human calculator.
When you get asked about software, make sure you tie your answer directly back to those 2026 trends. Highlight your adaptability across integrated platforms, advanced modeling, and enterprise systems. But even more importantly, show them that you're a lifelong learner. Discuss the industry journals you're reading and how you manage the pressure of rapid change. Honestly, they want a candidate who explores new tool sets safely and enthusiastically.
Of course, all of this high-level strategic preparation is completely useless if you fail the basics. I know, it sounds incredibly simple, but arriving 15 minutes early, dressing impeccably, and maintaining strong eye contact, that's what separates the professionals from the amateurs. And true confident body language doesn't even have to be faked. It just comes naturally when you actually know the industry trends and you've mastered your star narratives.
So I'll leave you with this. The industry is moving at breakneck speed. You need to look honestly at the competency framework and figure out where you sit today. As compliance work literally vanishes into algorithms, you have a pretty big choice to make. Are you going to let the technology of 2026 automate your job away, or are you going to use it to automate your promotion to the C-suite? The roadmap is yours.